Welcome back to Sika Strength and welcome back to Sika Stan. Welcome back to our News at 6 somewhere. And today's news show got a lot of the Europeans and got a lot of strong benching today. First up, we've got a historic moment in weightlifting Irish history. We have our first medal at a senior international competition. Senior Europeans are above from Thami. So Thami is a lifter from Dublin. She won bronze in the clean and jerk at the 49 kilo category. So she clean and jerked 98 kilos on her third attempt. So she got red light for her second attempt on this and then came out and smashed it and left it in no doubt for her third attempt. Thami is a very, very hard worker. Thami is essentially got to this point basically by herself, of course, with her family. She has 2 kids. She runs several businesses with her husband, Mark. She runs a CrossFit gym. She runs a clothing company, and she used to have a lashes company from what I know. So Thami, very, very nice person, worked really hard to get herself here. She pays for her own coach. He lives or he trains with her. He came from abroad. I think he came from Vietnam. So Thami essentially is self-made in terms of this medal. And, obviously a lot of support from people around her and the people she trains with. So an incredible...
Unbelievable achievement.
Not only that as well, this is the first Olympic qualifier for the Olympics next year in Paris. So it's a very, very strong year. It's a very, very strong Europeans. There was a lot of depth in the class. So it's a very meaningful medal, and obviously everyone in Ireland in terms of weightlifting is thrilled with this. So fantastic achievement. So let's have a look at the lift.
Yeah, it's a massive achievement or a massive milestone for Irish weightlifting. Absolutely unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. She's 49 kilos, 98. So they're on that double body weight clean and jerk category is for anyone of any weight is incredible. So fantastic work at 98 kilos.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Then we've got Nino in the training hall, so with a 200 kilo clean and jerk. So Nino, from what we've seen, hasn't been looking as amazing as normal. So we know he didn't go to Worlds last year due to an injury, but there's suspected other reasons. But he's missing 160 snatch, but this 200 kilo looks pretty damn good for a 99 kilo lifter. So very, very powerful. Phenomenal jerk as always.
It's the jerk. Nino's jerk for me is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the clean kind of just gets it there. For me, his jerk is enviable.
I actually really think his clean is one of the best because it's such a dynamic clean.
Yes.
He catches the bounce so well, stands up so fast. It's a super dynamic clean. He uses the whip really well. It's almost an understated clean for how good a clean it is.
I wonder what he's going to hit this year.
I don't think it's going to be quite as good as the Europeans last year where we saw him do that 217 or 219. So
217, yeah.
So on that same vein, we have him doing this 240 for a double in the front squat. Very, very strong front squat, of course, as you know from the recent squat video we did.
What's the heaviest front squat he's ever done, Griff?
Well, what we've seen is 251, I think.
Okay.
But he seems to have done 250 a few times.
That was a very smooth double.
Doesn't really need to do much more than 250 for what he's ever going to be clean and jerking. The 240 for double is very, very strong.
Yeah.
So Nino's a great competitor, so it'll be interesting to see what he comes out at.
Absolutely, yeah.
So next we've got Lasha. So we've been following Lasha's progress coming back from Worlds. We've talked about he mentioned he had heart issues, he was cutting down on weight, then he had an injury at the last competition. So this is our first look at him in the last few days or the last few weeks of his prep for the Europeans to see what kind of shape he's in. And these 210s for singles and 250 clean and jerk, it's actually kind of hard to judge now because this looks as good as ever.
I was just about to say, it looks as powerful, as smooth, and as kind of bang on technically how it looked last time we saw him do it. It's just very difficult to know what the top end weights are going to be. Like with that was a quad or adductor injury. Mm-hmm. It's just really difficult to know what it's going to look like, particularly on the clean and jerk, what it's going to look like up around 260 or north of there. It's we'll wait and see.
Yeah, so this 250 looks just as good. Cleans look the same as always. His cleans start to look similar, kind of around 220, same kind of speed and tempo. Jerks seem to look similar.
Yeah.
But if you look at this 250, it looks the same as his 270, his best clean and jerk we've seen on camera. So it is very, very hard to judge and be very, very keen to see what he ends up actually doing.
The other question is this the competition where he'll actually be able to go really heavy? Even if he's in great nick and great condition right now, will he be able to go take the shackles off and lift as heavy as he wants? Probably not. This probably isn't the one where he's going to go his heaviest weights.
He doesn't really need, I suppose, at this one. I think he's probably... I feel like if what's going to happen, if I had to guess over the next year and a half, even though we see him always wants to push himself, I'd imagine he's probably going to hold it all for the next Olympics and then retire. I have to imagine that's what's going to happen. If you put a gun to my head and said, make a prediction, an imaginary gun to my head, I'm going to say he's going to do what he needs to do to win the next few ones, unless one of the other supers pushes him, like Gore or Lalian. And then I reckon he'll get to the Olympics next year, come out steaming hot.
500 kilo total.
500 kilo total, if at all possible. He'll win on the first two lifts probably, and then, well, I reckon, I assume he'll retire. He's going to leave the shoes on the platform. Sure.
My biggest concern would be an injury popping up again.
Yes.
Particularly that quad or adductor injury. That would be a sad end to the greatest weightlifter of all time, possibly.
Imagine how sweet it would be if he finished on that 500 kilo total on his third Olympic gold medal, and then just was like, cool, thanks guys, I know the fourth would be nice, but I've got my kids, I've got my family, got my money, I'm just gonna leave it here. That'd be unbelievable. That'd be such a nice finish, I hope, because a lot of times in weightlifting we see kind of falls from graces, or any sports, we see people not really let go when they should let go, and I hope that's the case. Now moving on to one of his closest rivals, one of his younger rivals, it is the Armenian super Lalian. So here he is with a 180 kilo power snatch. Now, Lalian is my favorite super in terms of technique. His snatch technique is so crisp. It's beautiful. Timing is great. It moves so quickly.
His grip width and it being overhead doesn't make sense. It just looks so close to his head.
Look where his arms are hanging though. They're just his thumb is like hanging at his waist,
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I love his technique. It's so good. We never see supers do heavy power snatches either.
No.
It's impossible to judge with supers what a power snatch means. So if you power snatch 180, I'd be like, Dara can probably snatch 200 kilos or maybe a little bit more or less depending. But with supers, you're like, that's probably 40 kilos more realistically.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to tell.
What I love is just the speed of getting under the bar on that. Like, catches it bang on parallel. It's split second kind of pull under. We don't see any of that kind of over pulling, which you see a lot of in lighter weight classes, particularly over pulling those power snatches a lot, staying up at the top. He is just laser beaming under the bar.
Do you think his t-shirt is XXXL or XXXXXL?
I think, as people who order t-shirts quite a lot, I think that's the kind of end of the order where you're like, nobody's going to buy this size, but we're going to get it anyway.
No, Lalian's wearing it. Sticking with people snatching in the 190s and stuff like that, we have Korean John Wick with a 195 block snatch. So you may remember from 2 weeks ago, we had his 191, and this is a 195, still at a 100 kilo body weight. So coming up on that double body weight snatch, which is a stupid lift to make. So close.
That train keeps on rolling.
You have to imagine this is going for 200. I'd be so chuffed if you did 200.
Yeah.
Now,
there's only one thing more impressive than the actual lift here, and it's the fact that he dropped 195 kilos on those blocks, and there was not a millimeter of movement. Look at this.
That's incredible, because I was just thinking that. That's how
oh my God.
Succinct we hear on the Sika news team. I was actually just thinking that. And then I was thinking, could you make a tower of those for jerk blocks? Because they are so solid.
Yeah.
That's probably aged oak.
Yeah. Aged oak plywood.
Yeah, that's €500 per side there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh my God. I'm in awe of the lift. The lift is amazing. But those those pull blocks are just...
They didn't move an inch. They literally didn't move an inch. The camera moved more than they did.
Yeah. I think they're cemented into the ground.
Yeah, if I had a weightlifting studio, if I had a weightlifting gym, I would have stuff bolted to the ground for jerk blocks.
Those pull blocks make me feel things.
I'd have permanent blocks at so low blocks, permanent at the knee blocks or above the knee blocks.
Okay.
And then I would have permanent jerk blocks. Everything is just permanent.
Yeah.
If I was running a national team, there's no reason not to do it.
Specialist.
Now, sticking in with Korea, we have Yan Pro, who's an IFBB Pro. And what I really like about this is a 270 kilo squat in Vans. And he's just in ridiculous shape.
Nice. I think being in incredible shape goes without saying if you're an I was about to say IBJJF Pro.
Yes, which also does.
But if you're a professional bodybuilder, you're going to look great. But his squat here is very nice.
We don't see a lot of powerlifters, bodybuilders lifting that heavy anymore, or this heavy. So it's very, very interesting that we've seen him do a lot of heavy squats, but it's always really nice deep squats. You know, it's kind of reminiscent a bit of the Tom Platz era. And as we know,
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman did say everyone wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift heavy off weights. But you know what the best part of that quote is? The next line is, he shouts, "But I do."
Oh,
That's even, I don't know why people
that's
always...
a great little addition.
That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
After he shouts, "Ain't nobody want to lift heavy ass weights, but I do." But then he goes to do the 800-pound squat for reps and he shouts, "But I do." How close? I never see the rest
How
of
did
it.
we not know that?
But I do.
Movement pattern on this squat is very, very nice.
Yeah.
Super smooth. Not an ounce of speed there.
Bodybuilders don't need speed.
No.
Bodybuilders do not need the speed.
No.
Now, sticking with big squats, we have 17-year-old John Endoza. What a great name. Squatting 325 kilos at 17. He's a 105 kilo lifter, probably a little bit over here. 17. Can we just remember that? 17. 325 kilos. I don't know what else to say about this because it's how fast was his progression? You know, what age did he start squatting?
What weight did he squat when he was 15 or 16?
Yeah, how long has he been squatting? You know what I was thinking about the other day? You know all those toddlers we see squatting on social media and stuff? If they're still squatting, what are they going to squat when they're older?
Maybe that's it.
Maybe he's one of them.
Maybe he's the first person who had one of those plastic toy barbells.
And that's just gone too far now.
This is insane.
No, it is ridiculous.
This is unbelievable. 325 kilos.
The worst
in a
part-
105 kilo weight class.
He could do 340 by the looks of this.
Yeah?
Certainly 335.
Triple bodyweight squats above 100 kilos in body weight.
No, at 17.
It is insane.
Yeah, there's too many of these young fellas around as well.
Yeah? Imagine, we're going to be in our 80s if we make it there.
Yeah.
We'd be sitting there and be like, we used to lift some weights back in the day. And there'd be a guy and he'd be like, yeah, when I was 17 I squatted 350 kilos.
But you know as well though, when people are like, the old lads are like, "I used to squat 200 kilos," and everyone's like, "No, you didn't."
Yeah, yeah.
But at least when we say that, we'll mean it. Now, next up, we've got Julius Maddox with a 331 kilo bench, which is heavier than the squat we just saw, which was amazing. But Julius benching 331 kilos. With a pause, 730 pounds.
I've seen people talking about that pause before and the bit of a bumper, the bit of a kind of knock off the chest.
Mm-hmm.
That is unbelievably strong. I don't care less if there's a bit of a bump or a bit of a
Anyone else can try the bump and see if they can do 331.
yeah, and try to not die underneath 331.
I kind of feel like Julius doesn't get enough hype.
I feel like Julius has more muscle mass above the level of his collarbones.
Mm-hmm.
So like here, all of that has more muscle than I have in my entire body.
He also has a very normal weight grip. Like there's powerlifters out there who would consider that a close grip bench.
Yeah.
And he's doing it with a pause. His hands are actually just a little bit inside his elbows.
Yeah.
730 pounds. 331 kilos. He said that one's a bit of a grinder when he sits up, which I think is a ludicrous statement. I don't know what his spotter's going to do, because you definitely need at least two people bench squat.
I assume that spotter is there to ring someone.
Just to hold
else-
gently.
To direct a forklift in to take that off. There's no way you're going to be able to take that off his chest.
The only thing is, you do have Julius Maddox
Yes.
assisting you when you're getting it off his chest.
Yeah. His is it his Instagram page is called Irregular Strength, or is it a company called Irregular Strength?
No, he's called a regular strength, and that's fair.
Because that is the least regular thing in the world.
So in his bio, he's done 355 kilos.
Jesus Christ.
Julius is a
Oh my God.
very strong guy.
Joe, when you're younger, you talk about like, he's a big strong man.
Mm-hmm.
Julius is a big strong man.
He's a big strong horse.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got, you might remember one of the Islanders we had before who were always at it like throwers, was Vasa Samatawa. And here he is from a couple of weeks ago, benching 200 kilos on his deload week, so no wraps, no belts, but also no bench press. So he's doing this 200 kilo for reps on a barbell. He's lying on a barbell in a monolift.
He's not only making a fool of 200 kilos, he's making a fool of the bench press as a movement.
He's making a fool of everyone who's ever bench pressed, really, except for Julius.
Using a monolift backwards. lying on a barbell between two blocks. How uncomfortable was that?
I don't know if I could balance like that without the bench. Can I balance like that? That's ludicrous.
That is unbelievable.
Imagine the little bit, if you got one of your actors, imagine the kind of soft tissue work. That would feel so good.
Yeah, that would feel great. Just imagine getting a cramp, like your pec cramps up when you're just about to lock that out, or you missed a monolift and suddenly you slip. That's squeaky bum time if ever I've heard it.
Someone said, why would you do that? Anyone watching this, please do not replicate. This is not only dangerous, but you also don't have anything to gain out of it. Just don't do it.
God.
Who's watching this who can bench 200 kilos for reps like this is going to go and not be fully aware that you shouldn't do this on a barbell? Like, this is clearly just a thing for entertainment. This is so stupid. People on Instagram just make me so
Just
fucking
losers.
mad. They're so stupid.
With private accounts as well.
Do you know what? Mean comments don't... I just never really care for it. But
No.
dumb comments are the ones that get me, where you're like, you're actually so fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So much stupid lifting for attention. You know how many medical professionals could weigh on this? I hate when gym culture has become. Take me back 20 years. No, this is great.
Also, 20 years ago, people did just as much stupid stuff.
This is what's wrong with, like, these benching
Oh my
200
God.
kilos for reps. I'm very happy with the time we're in.
Somebody said you must be fun at parties.
He's not telling anyone to do anything.
These people are ruining the internet. Just let people have fun.
No, we need to end that here. Thanks for watching the news show. In honor, thanks for watching the news show. Please keep tags and stuff. A lot of the stuff is, again, always stuff we've been tagged in, so it's great to see. Thank you so much. We see all of those tags and we look through every single one of them, and it really is so helpful for the news show, and it's great to let us know that you're enjoying it. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you want to let us know your favourite piece from today in the comments, let us know below. I think probably Julius Maddox benching 331 is probably...
For me, it's the teenager.
Yeah.
325 kilos at 17 years old.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Some would say that's impressive.
Yeah. Horse of the week.
Today's news show is brought to you by the Sika Strength Benchpress program. It is 8 weeks in length. It is between 2 and 3 times per week in terms of frequency. So it starts out at 2 times a week and pushes up to 3 times a week frequency for the bench press. Link down in the bio. Very successful program for improving your bench. So get on it.